What's happening, y'all? We are back. Hashtag them dragons. House of the Dragon is back. We are back with that hot D. How you doing? I am your host, Lord Cussalott Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC. And I am joined today by two very wonderful people. I was only expecting one person today, but we got two today. First of all, Mara the motherfucking Shark Watkins. How are you doing, Mara?
I made it.
You did make it. You did make it.
It felt like HBO was trying extra hard to make sure I did not see that I did not see this episode, but I saw it.
You saw it.
And I made it.
I appreciate you making it. But who else made it, Mara?
Jesus Christ. You would think I would just have this down by now.
It's not hard.
The patron,
Not right now.
the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter. It's usually on the bottom of your name, but it's not. Hi, Matt.
What's up, Mara? How are you?
I'm good. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
It's good to
Is that
see
better?
you both. Good to have a
Coochie Coo, I see you.
Anyway, y'all, we are here to talk about that hot D. So how do y'all feel right now? How are you feeling about this season 2 premiere of House of the Dragon overall before we really get into it?
Oh, I was sick to my stomach.
I was bored until the end. I was like, this is just a bunch of bullshit. And then the end hit, and I'm like, what the fuck?
They had to set the chessboard up, Matt. We've talked about this before.
Listen,
right?
Yeah, but listen, we're on season 2, and don't fucking bore me for 55 minutes of this show. Don't.
I feel like we go through this every season premiere.
Yeah.
Like
I've only been a part of this show for 2 seasons, so it's only been
but you watched the Game of Thrones even if you weren't on this show. So
and they didn't bore me in the first episodes of every season.
Yes, they did, sir.
No, they didn't. Normally the first episodes are where I got the titties, and that's what I was there for anyway.
In like the first couple seasons, yeah.
Yeah, and then they cut it off, and that's when I got tired of that show. But then, fun shit happened. No, the ending is the whole reason I showed up. So I told you I wasn't going to be here, but things got rearranged. John said he wasn't going to be around for Diablo.
Right.
Yeah, no, in more ways than one. It'll be all right though. She can still walk. So yeah, no, we finished the show. I got a Govee, the backlights for the TV. That was my Father's Day gift, so I set that up. So I got to watch House of the Dragons, and then as like all the lights on the screen were moving, all the lights in the backlights were moving. It was real cool, and I was like, "Give me some cool action scenes in Dragonfire." You know what I didn't fucking get, Travis?
Dragonfire?
Yes, and I'm pissed. But
the Govee light gift sounds like such a dad gift to receive.
Dude, I wanted it. It was great. So happy.
Makes sense to me.
Like it just gives like dad talk of like, this is my newest gadget and I love it.
However, back to House of the Dragon. This is what we're here for. For me, I got pretty much what I expected in the beginning. Like I said, I expected them to just be setting the chessboard. We got something crazy happen at the end of last season where, a child was killed. And so we setting this up like, what is the response to that? How is everybody reacting to that? And there was, like I said, a lot of chess pieces being set up. We're seeing, Aegon being king and how he's, dealing with that. We're seeing how people around him are responding to him. We're kind of seeing how, Rhaenyra is responding to everything. And for the first 3/4 of the episode, we didn't see her really responding to anything.
She only had one line this entire episode.
Yeah. One line. But yeah, the ending though, we'll get to that. Let's talk about the episode itself. What were you about to say?
Lord.
You look like you.
Who?
No, Matt looked like he was about to say something. Were you about to say something?
No, you mentioned Aegon, and the only thing that Aegon is really relevant for in this episode was dropping, when they were trying to figure out what they were going to call him, Aegon the what, and then they got to Aegon the Dragon Cock, the Untamable Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I was like, okay, Aegon, I'm with
Well, that's because that's to play on the fact that Aegon likes the whores. So he's
doesn't?
known to frequent some brothels or bring in a servant girl or 2 or 5.
Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
You're king.
So let's get into the episode, shall you? Want to get into the plot?
Let's do it.
Sure.
All right. So this whole thing kicks off with Jace, Rhaenyra's oldest son, up at the wall talking to Stark nigga. What you got,
Kragan.
Stark nigga? Huh?
Kragan
Stark, yeah. And basically tell him like, yo,
another one whose name sounds like it was recycled 50 million times.
Most likely. But he was like, yeah, we need some folks from the wall, because if we don't, then Allison's gonna send her people to take over, and we're gonna have false kings on the throne and all that kind of shit. And I'm watching this whole time and I'm thinking, I fail to see why the Night's Watch gives a fuck. Like, what you're explaining right now has zero bearing on their life at all.
They swore an oath.
To things that have nothing to do with this.
When they were talking, when he was like telling him, he was just like, yeah, 99% of our job is caring about shit that's not what you're talking about.
Yeah. And he dropped a line too that, makes a lot of sense. And a lot of people like kind of dismiss it what the Night's Watch does for a long time. And they were like, do you think that our ancestor built a 700-foot wall of ice for wildlings in winter?
Yes.
And it's just, and they're like, and if that's what, because that what?
I was gonna say, because at this point, that's all you're keeping out. It's going to be hundreds of years before anything scary shows up.
Right. But logically, why would somebody do that is his point. It's just like, it makes no sense to devote the manpower and resources to do such a thing for just wildlings and wind, there's a reason why they did this. And just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean there's not a good reason. That's all I'm saying. It's just like, it's a very good line for him to drop because, logically, think about it,
I didn't realize at first that was her son. I just thought it was some Stark people hanging out. And then he said then he dropped a line about like, I didn't have to face your dragons or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's who you are.
You didn't.
Also,
he didn't realize it was Jace. Yeah.
Yeah, no. And then
the mercy of your dragons.
I felt like Kragan looked really fucking young to be Lord of Winterfell.
He's not Lord of Winterfell. He's Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
That's not what his Wikipedia says, but that's neither here nor there. So is his father then Lord of Winterfell, and then he'll go back?
You don't go back. When you join the Night's Watch, you're there for life. At least the way they were giving it is that he was Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, and he sent some graybeards from the Night's Watch down there. Because why would you meet the Lord of Winterfell at the wall? And not in Winterfell? Unless I misunderstood something.
All I know is Kragan Stark is the old man of the North and the Lord of Winterfell.
That was clearly not an old man. And that's the whole thing. They were talking about how 1 in every 10 of them
eventually
were sent to
he's
the wall.
Old man.
Like he's like, it's just like 1 in 10 are sent to the wall. And I'm like, he's the one that was sent to the wall.
Ugh, I would hate to be that guy.
So yeah, they have that whole conversation. He's like, all right, I tell you what, we got some graybeards and we got old niggas. They're like, they're they'll serve you well. They can fight. They some bad motherfuckers. So we'll send them to you. And when
that's all you get.
That's what you're gonna get. And he was like, well, they'll fight and they'll be loyal. Bring them. Turns out that's about 2,000 men. Not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but a lot in terms of how many are in the Night's Watch. Let's see. But while this is happening, they also get a raven. And that raven, dark wings, dark words, letting him know your brother dead, man.
What was it? His voice breaking when he went back to talk about, what he was able to
accomplish
figure out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. and then his voice breaking, and it reminds you that, like, you know, these are partially still children.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing with the two of them. We'll get to that in a second, but yeah, when the two of them were hugging and all that kind of stuff, it's like you got to think about the fact that these two, in the grand scheme of things, of all the people around them, are the only two who actually legitimately care about this kid, you know, that just died. Like the rest of them, he's, you know,
He's a
he's somebody,
pawn.
he's important, but they don't care about him. They don't love him. This was my little brother. This was my son, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's one of those things like, man, that's fucked up. Like, whew.
It's like, of all people that had to happen to, you didn't deserve that.
Yeah. Then we cut over to the Greens. Let's talk about the Greens. And as it kicks off, Allison is getting some. She was getting some head.
She started and finished the episode in a way that I was very proud of. And I've told you I've been a fan of Allison from season 1. I also like the fact that she's fucking her enemy's baby's daddy.
What?
Incorrect.
Kristen Cole did not father any of her children.
I thought that's why they all had brown hair. Or was
that was the dude from Harrenhal.
Varys' brother, the one who, remember the last hand to the king, the one who resigned.
I don't remember shit from season 1. Season 1 didn't have.
Well, that's clearly why you.
If they hadn't jumped,
baby daddy.
If they hadn't jumped so much through time, I might remember who some of these fucking people were.
Well, no, like, I mean, like, they were very distinct. They distinctly showed that who their
It was a white guy with brown hair. I don't know why this is why it's weird that I confused them.
Kristen and Rhaenyra only had sex like once, because remember, he was this like, I filthied my cloth for you, and then became
they lost their virginity to each other, and then she
did fuck him. So I'm not crazy.
She fucked him.
Okay,
she fucked him once, and then he wanted to run away together and shit, and she was just like, no, nigga.
It was when
I knew that Allison was fucking somebody that she fucked. That maybe not.
Well, that didn't start. That wasn't shown until this season. I mean, kind of figured it was going to happen at some point. The way he was just, falling over her every word last season.
Yeah, why not?
But
I would have.
But when Rhaenyra and Daemon had gone out, when she was still in the younger actress, and when that spy said that they saw them fooling around in the brothel, coupling in the whorehouse, because Daemon and her didn't do it then, she went back and she said to Christian, she was like, yeah, you fuck me then. And then when he was like, let's step away from all the crown shit, and then I'll make you an honest woman and it'll be great, and she was just like,
bro, I'm gonna be queen.
Down.
Like, what,
you know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like Rhaenyra has been really humble about being the heir. But I feel like the one time Christian was like, yeah, just denounce all that shit, she was just like, really? In front of my high frequency crown?
Like, oh man.
Now, real quick, I did do some research. So Cregan is the Lord of Winterfell, not of the Night's Watch. The men that he sent to Rhaenyra were all Northmen who were not good enough to go to the Night's Watch and serve, who had seen too many winners, but 2,000 men. And then in return, Jace is going to send, I believe it says his daughter. Agrees to send his firstborn daughter up to Winterfell. And when she's old enough to marry, she'll marry the heir of Cregan. So he is Lord of Winterfell, not the Night's Watch. He's not part of the Night's Watch.
Interesting. So it's like, why do they meet at the wall, and why is he dressed like the Lord of the Night's Watch?
I'm assuming he just had to go up there and be like, hey, this is what the fuck we're doing. This is why I can't get involved in your bullshit.
He said when Jay showed up, this is a real inopportune time.
Like, Travis, if you had a 700-foot ice wall, would you not take every opportunity to show people it when they came to visit?
It's not exactly close, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like Jake showed up and Cregan was like, I was just heading up to the wall, so if you can walk and talk with me but also listen to me tell you about the Night's Watch, we can talk. But if you just trying to sit in Winterfell, I'm sorry.
Apparently, he's going to be more important later. He's going to be doing things, and it is not night watch things. He's going to be out and about.
Jason
I
Craig.
know he did other stuff. Like I remember from the books, he did some other shit, but it was just the way they presented it here was like he was Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. My
No, I
bad.
got you.
So anyway, yeah, her and back to Allison and Kristen while she was getting some head afterwards ends up telling what was up. Oh, okay. What we got here, Mara?
Reactions.
Okay.
Oh, where'd it go? Why did the window leave?
It's
I see it. It says
you're looking at it right here.
I have because this is a thing. I was like, I have so many windows open right now on my computer of just different like memes and shit. First scene of Kristen Cole and Allison Hightower is him eating her out, throwing the TV on the floor. I was just like, what?
Hey man, gotta get that hot D.
It's just like that's what I was saying. Like it's so funny, especially like later on, we see them like doing even more. After in that scene, she goes, "We can't do this again."
We didn't see enough of them doing even more. I'm just saying.
It's funny because you think about it, and he was just talking about how he said he soiled his cloak for Ray Ray, and she was all like, "Yeah, I don't care." And then he's talking about how just how she's done all these awful things, like the whole thing with her and Damon and all that kind of stuff. And then you go and you start fucking the other queen, and it's just like,
yeah, like make it make
his
sense.
cloak was already dirty, Travis. It can't get any dirtier.
Yeah. But for him to be like,
it just seems like he's clearly just really butthurt because Ray didn't want him. Like,
yes. Speaking of which, I have a tweet that matches that. Allison getting head from Kristen Cole when he was complaining how Rhaenyra was loose and immoral.
Yeah, exactly. It's
like if you don't stop it.
So then we like I said, you mentioned it. She tells Chris like we can't do this again. Clearly they do it again because
I need to find. There was this tweet I saw that I was trying to purposely ignore because
spoilers.
Yeah, because I started late because like I said, HBO was doing everything to stand in my way. But trying to get tweets, but also not trying to be spoiled. And all I kept seeing was like I saw one where like I think it was like the crazy looking Barbie doll or Bratz doll, and it was like no, it was a scene from Euphoria. You guys probably won't know the scene, so I won't describe it. But the one of the characters, she looks crazy disheveled. And they're just like, when they ask Allison what she was doing when they were out here murdering kids.
I watched the first 2 episodes of Euphoria. I started it the other day.
Nah, the scene that still was from like the second season when shit was going down.
I see.
Like Kristen Cole.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But something about him gives that he is no good at that. It doesn't.
Travis has been trying to get past us eating pussy for like 5 minutes and just talk about what the fuck the rest of the Greens have been doing. Yeah, we will not let it go.
I can't, because he also does not look like he would be giving it good. Like, I feel like all of her shit when she was like over there reacting her oohs and ahs, I feel like that was performative.
I mean, it was performative.
Yes. Thank you.
Literally, but I don't know. I feel like she's she's the queen now, so at this point she doesn't have to keep doing it if she don't like it. Like it's
true.
She doesn't have to just accept that from him. I'm sure she can find someone else who's better at it if she's not being satisfied. But they're having a small council meeting after this. All the people that's supposed to be their master of coin, master of ships is not there because they lost their master of ships. He went and joined Ray Ray. But Lord Commander of the King's Guard, King's Hand, all that kind of stuff, and the King. Which is interesting because, Game of Thrones, we saw a lot of the King not attending small council meetings, but now, King is here.
King has arrived.
What's up?
Said the king has arrived.
Yeah. So they're having their conversations. Aemon and Aegon are like, yo, let's just start burning shit. Like, let's go hop on the dragons and just start fucking shit up. And the rest of the council is just like, you need to chill. Like, we We cannot be doing that right now. Like we do that, everything goes to shit. Even more so than it already has because of the actions of someone, Amen, And while this is all going on, Aegon's son, one of the twins, I forgot that little nigga's name, but
Jaehaerys.
yeah, him. He's fucking with the Master of Coin, Lord Tylan, just taking his shit and just playing with it and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, keep telling him, like, stop, leave me alone, stop. And Aegon's like, is the heir to the throne being a bother? Just, in which case, Tyler just has to kind of eat that shit because what the fuck is he gonna do?
He got bitched out by a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, I think the dude who did the after the episode thing said he was 4, or he alluded to him being 4.
Okay. As someone who repeatedly gets bitched out by a 3 to 4-year-old on a daily basis, I understand. Zoe told me I need to learn how to chill the other day. To my face.
Not the 3-year-old being like, you need to chill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. So then Aegon is like, sounds like the heir wants a pony ride. Lord Tyler, why don't you give him a pony ride? And I, for one, am very disappointed that we did not get to see the Master of Coin give his kid a pony ride.
Because I would have clipped that and then I would have played Genuine's Pony in the background and just had that clip on repeat for the song and posted that.
Of all the things.
You can still, just get a pony and put Tylen's head on it, and then whoever's riding on it, put the kid's head on it and do the same thing. So all that's happening, not much really gets accomplished in this small council meeting. They just say, I want to do this. Well, you shouldn't do this. And then they ended the meeting. So, yeah.
Kill them all. No. Okay.
You can tell he was clearly like really disappointed that he couldn't just burn shit. Like him and actually like him, his brother Aemon, and Daemon are all just like, I want to fuck shit up and nobody's letting me. They're all clearly frustrated about it.
Aemon and Aegon don't really have to listen to anyone. They've got dragons. Like they've got the biggest dragon. Like just go start burning shit. And if anyone argues, burn them as well.
The problem is, which we'll see in this next scene, Aegon still really wants to be liked, though. And why are you looking at me like that? Did you not see when he was in this council?
No. I wasn't looking at you. It was Mara and the noises that were coming from her side when she dipped off screen. That's what distracted me. It wasn't.
Oh, sorry.
Wasn't you.
I would say I agree because you can tell in the way he is trying to appease people, and then like you have Otto who's like, yo, rein it in just a little bit. You can't just be giving niggas their sheet back.
We told them we gonna need 10% of everything because when shit gets bad, we gotta feed the dragons. So you can't just give him back his sheep. You're like, but Hagen's like, yo, he
will come back.
And he's like, he came all this way. Like, we just give him his sheep. Nobody will know. And he was just like, everybody will know. There's no way he gets his sheep back and the rest of the world around him doesn't realize that he got his sheep back and nobody else did.
It put him back in this view of mine where like I feel bad for him again because it's just like you can clearly tell he does not give a fuck about me.
About this king shit, like at all. Like this is not what he wants. He's like, I just want to be a royal so I can go out and do my thing and keep fucking whoever I want to fuck. Like that's what he wants.
I think it's lovely that like he wants to start training Jaehaerys's king training since he's heir, but it's just like, bro, that 4-year-old also don't give a fuck about me.
No 4-year-old is gonna give a fuck about that. But like it's one of those things like that. They kind of mentioned it on the little after show thing, like you were talking about too, like where he's just like he wants to do that because nobody did that for him. But
Right.
the thing is, nobody did that for him because his father was like, "You're not supposed to be my heir anyway. I wasn't training you. I trained Rhaenyra."
Oh
So
my god. That man's ashes are turning over in the sea somewhere
yeah, man.
because his idiot son is the king now.
But yeah, we had the petitions for the king. You know, the one wanted his sheep back, the other one like the iron workers and all that. Like, yo, like iron's expensive right now. Like, we need to get paid. We can't wait. And he's like, yeah, we'll pay you now because we can't do this without y'all. So you'll be paid and you'll be paid well. And Otto's about to stop him there, and he realized after he says that shit, he's like, fuck, I can't do nothing now. And
Yeah.
he just has to stand aside, like, never mind.
Because he pretty much was like, you know, how can we be successful if the tier of people
Small
below
folk,
us,
yeah.
the small folk can't do what we need them to do. And I was just like, damn, if only every other corporation thought of it that way.
Mhm.
Food is expensive.
So we move ahead. There's some things happening in the seaside. We see the sea snake. Apparently, he meets up with the dude that pulled him out of the ocean when he was about to die. All that good stuff. There's another port where they board somebody's ship. Like, hey, prepared to be boarded, and they go there and they find old girl that was feeding Damon information.
White
Also, was feeding Otto information. What'd you say, Mara?
White worm.
Yeah, what's her real name?
It's something. It's like Cardi B's name, like some kind of magical spell sounding shit. You know what I mean, though.
Yes, I do.
To be fair, I had no idea who this girl was at first. It took me a very long time to remember that Damon met her in a whorehouse.
Mhm.
Like, I'm just like, who the fuck are you and why does he care?
I feel like you would have benefited just rewatching the first season with me last.
I was not doing that. It was a struggle the first time. I wasn't doing the time jumps again.
But you would expect them this time.
Hey, would you watch the last season of Game of Thrones again?
Only if I watched the first. Yeah, I'd watch it all the way through.
Oh, okay. Well, we're different then.
Yeah. I'm weird like that. Like, if I really feel compelled to start the whole thing over again, I'm gonna watch it through to the end. Her name is Miss Saria.
She's not like me when I watch Lost. I stop after season 4.
I don't blame you. I wish I had.
Well, the thing is, I had to see how it ended. Once I saw how it ended, I'm like, okay, I know how it ends now. I don't need to see that again. So I'm gonna watch these first 4 seasons that were good.
But I haven't gotten to a place yet where I want to rewatch Supernatural yet.
Thank God, because when I first met you, that's all you watched every day, every time I spoke to you for
that was my other comfort show.
I haven't gotten to a point where I wanted to finish Supernatural in the first place. So, Leviathan broke me. I'm like, no, I'm not watching another season of this when you like they took over the world with fucking chicken sandwiches. I'm done. No. So anyway, Damon gets a hold of her.
Her name is Massaria.
Okay. I'm not going to remember this. So Damon gets a hold of the white worm. And he's just like, yo.
I bet he does.
We're not talking about his white worm. All right.
Hey.
So, yeah. He's like, yeah, she was selling secrets to Otto. He was going back and forth. She was like, look, I don't have no allegiance to him. I fed him secrets because he paid for them. Like, it is just that simple.
You know the crazy part? I was just like, why does this shock you? Why does it shock you? The profession you met her in, that is all they do. I don't care what you're going to do to me, but I mean, like, you're about to pay me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry that someone you love died.
He didn't love that kid.
Like, sorry, your kin died or whatever. Yeah. And that you lost the crown.
But, fairly certain Damon doesn't love anybody but Damon. Like,
no.
I think he loves Ray Ray. I do.
I think he loves
I think he has some love for her. I don't think he like truly loves her the way that like somebody truly loves someone they're married to,
I think he loves her as far as her power can take him.
That's one way to put it. I think it's more he loves her as far as he's capable of loving another person.
I feel like he went, yeah, there you go. Because I feel like he went more out of his way than he probably would have for her at the end of the last season. Like he didn't have to. So there was something there, something more than just her power. Because he could have. There was a point in time where he could have just killed everyone and declared himself king. Like,
true,
no one was stopping him.
Yeah.
And she called him on that shit, and she was just like, "You could just come in here right now, do it." And
he did.
Dare you?
Said he fucked her.
I dare you.
So all this is going on. Eventually Ray returns. She comes back after she is been on the been out and about, being all sad. Some fishermen out on the beach pull something in. We find out it's a dragon wing, and clearly she heard dragon wing somehow, and she said, "What?" And flies down and whooshes, and everybody takes off running because a fucking dragon showed up.
Okay, how did she hear them say dragon from so far away?
I have no idea.
Because for them to not have noticed that she and her dragon had flown over to that area to begin with.
Dragon's name's Cyrax, ain't it? Something like that. Cyrax. Yeah. For
her to be like,
far enough away they didn't see her, but close enough that she still heard them. Yeah, it's very strange.
Dragon, because when I heard them say it, and then I looked and I was like, that is too goddamn far.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to sit here and tell me Rhaenyra has super hearing.
So yeah, she shows up, sees the dragon wing in the net, opens up the net, sees her kid's clothes in there. She's like, "Oh shit, yeah, it's real," and she starts crying. Yeah, and the dragon starts roaring too, like, "Oh damn, they got the little homie,"
I saw someone insinuate on Twitter that the dragon that Luke was on was a baby of her dragon.
I don't know that for sure, but it would make sense.
Because they were just alluding to like when the dragon roared out as well when she was crying. They were just like, "Oh no, they both lost their babies," and I was just like, "Wait a second, what?"
I mean, it would track if that was actually the case, but I don't know for sure one way or the other. I just figured it was a thing where like another one of one of the homies died, and it was one of the little homies. He was definitely younger than her dragon. So it was just like, even if it's just your friend's kid died, he was like, that's fucked up,
Yeah.
So yeah, she returns her. People are trying to tell her what's going on. Like, we did this, we did this, we did this. And she basically is like, yeah, I want Aemon. And I'm like, yeah, no surprise there.
Yeah.
Aemon killed my kid. Get that motherfucker.
Internet loved it. I know that's right. Everybody popping off.
Oh shit!
Which made Daemon happy because Daemon was out there before he's like, she's gone. I don't care. Let's go kill this motherfucker. You, me, take our dragons, burn it to the ground. She's like, no.
Yeah. At some point in here, yeah, you got it.
That was my reaction. I was like, you got this. You got that. That's yours.
At some point here, I don't remember when this was, but Alicent and Otto have a talk like, yo, I barely can rein in Aegon and Aemon right now. And if you keep undermining me, like, it's going to be impossible. Like, we need to kind of be working together on this. Eventually, Aegon's going to get tired of this whole ruling and king thing, and then we can do whatever the fuck we want. So we kind of just got to keep him reined in for now until he tires of it, and then we do what we going to do. There was also a point in here where what's the Cane do with the Cane's name? The one that was fucking with Allison's feet last season.
I think.
Yeah. What?
I forgot about the feet thing.
Oh, yeah.
He low-key seemed like jealous when he said he was looking for her and that her handmaiden said that she was
indisposed.
And he was looking like, who the fuck else is seeing your feet right now?
Oh man. So yeah, at one point
Laris, not Varys. I'm sorry, Laris.
I remember now. So he pulls Aegon aside. Her baby daddy's brother. Yeah.
No, but he was one of the clans from Game of Thrones, the Strong or something.
Yeah. Rhaenyra's baby daddy. That's his brother.
Harwin.
Yeah. The actual baby daddy.
What's the clan's name? That's
Strong.
She said.
Oh, was it Strong? It was just Strong. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he pulls Aegon aside and he's like, "Yo, you know, Otto was your father's hand. You know, you kind of put in his ear like, don't you want your own hand? You know, you want your own hand, right?"
He's like,
I'm not gonna say it should be me, but you kind of know it should probably be me, right? Like, you know, you need another hand. You know?
Like, it'd be great if it was, me.
Yeah. Then we have after he's been informed by his loving wife that she wants Aemon Targaryen. He's like, all right, bet. So he goes to his old boys down the Gold Cloaks with some coins, like, here, you got some issues with the hot towers. And he's like, yeah, fuck the hot towers. Cool.
Yo, when he said fuck the high towers, I was just like, ooh, shit.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, right?
You might be. Go ahead.
Daemon told this man to kill Aemon.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
No, I know, but I'm not crazy, right? Like that was
no, you're not.
No, you're not. You are not crazy at all. We are gonna get there.
It was not like an ambiguous,
no,
just
not at
like
all.
some blonde-haired. No, it was very specific as to who you. Anyway,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm just checking because
he
I have some feelings about what happened.
Yeah.
On Father's Day.
So, I like this one too, Mark. You know shit about to get wild when David puts on his murder hoodie.
Like every time this nigga puts on a hood, people end up dead. You realize that?
Yeah. One of those people happened to be his first wife.
It's the Air Force One of cloaks.
The hooded cloak is the Black Air Forces of Westeros.
Because dude that he paid took him to the royal
we gonna
rat
get
catcher.
Hold on, Matt. Hold on.
Well, no, because that's where we're at. Because he paid the dude, he let him in. They took him to the royal rat catcher.
Yes, he did. Hold on. We still getting through the tweets.
Yeah.
And also, I'm hosting this podcast, sir. All right.
Oh.
You follow me this time. You're not the host this time, sir. It's okay. You can just ride along this time.
Trust me, it's such a great place to be. I love it here.
I don't let anyone drive.
Yeah, you about to do it this time. So Dedek hands him the coins. Man lets him in. They do some walking, and like I said, he got his murder hoodie on, walking through, kind of pushing him through like he's a prisoner, until he meets with a man they call Cheese, because he's the rat catcher. And also the
what a nickname.
Yeah. The gentleman that was escorting him in, who also went in the castle with Cheese. In the books, they call him Blood. So there you go. They sit and they meet, and he basically is like, I hear, you're paid to kill the rats and everything, so you know this place pretty well. And you're like, yeah, I know the lower parts of the castle better than I know the curves of my own cock. That's what he says. Oh no, he said the shape of his cock, not the curves of his cock. Yeah. And I'm like, do you not play with your dick very often? Like, it feels like, you even no matter how much you're in those tunnels, you would know your own dick better. Maybe I'm crazy. But anyway, He's like, I need you to kill Aemon Targaryen for me. Here's some gold.
He did.
And he's like, you get half now, half after it's done. And he's like, what if we can't find him? And my interpretation of this look that Aemon gives afterwards is, I already told you who to kill. There is no what if I can't find him. That's how I saw it. Did y'all see that any other way?
No. And on top of that, he made it very clear that the person you were supposed to kill might be hard to kill. He is
Might be
very
hard to
good
kill,
at
hard to
fighting.
kill.
He's skilled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very skilled at fighting. So I don't know where the confusion came in.
And why we went after children.
Yeah. I'm thinking the only thing I can think of is in that moment afterwards when they cut away, there was more said after that where Daemon may have told him, if you can't find him, that's where he said the words,
Take another one who hurt.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Because I never heard them at any other point before they were in that bedroom say a son for a son, is my point. So I'm thinking maybe a son for a son was said at this point. We just didn't hear, and they may talk about it like in a flashback or something next episode. That's all I can think of as to how there could be any other interpretation.
I don't know. Hold on.
You're making a face, sir. Why are you making a face?
You seem so disappointed
Because
with.
you cannot do what you did at the end of this episode without any context and then try and go back and give me context later to it. Like, no. Fuck you, House of Dragon. You do not do what you did at the end of this episode and then come back to it later and be like, oh, by the way, it's okay because this is actually what Daemon did say. We just didn't show
that.
You
Doesn't make it okay
because
that's not what Rhaenyra told that motherfucker to do.
No, we said we want Aemon.
Yeah, so
that's what the tweet said. That's what she said. That's where we all were. The one-eyed fucker needs to go.
Yeah.
He said King's Landing Twitter all saw that we said Amen.
They did. We were all there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So after this meeting, we also see Aemon having a little powwow with Kristen. I guess they both are like, yo, we kind of been put on the sidelines right now. We ain't got nobody to fight and shit. And Aemon like, I want to fuck something up. Kristen like, I understand you want to fuck something up. We just got to fuck the right people up. So we should move this over here and do this over here. They're using coins to kind of show how they position their troops and shit. And at this point, Otto comes in, looks at Kristen and like, bitch, get back to work. And he goes to Aemon and he's just like, you need to chill the fuck out. This ain't the time for that.
And Aemon and Kristen were like, I'm kind of sick of these Hightowers telling us what the fuck we can and cannot do.
Yeah.
War is coming regardless. Let's just figure out how to start this shit.
That's
not that you didn't already start it by feeding someone to your anyway.
Yeah. Even at the time, it looked like he wasn't trying to make that happen. He was just trying to scare the kid, but you know, it was some dumb shit to do. So we get Blood and Cheese making their way through the castle. They're under.
That sounds so disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
first and foremost, fuck cheese.
Swiss cheese?
No, fuck cheese.
Well, Swiss cheese has the holes in it. That's how you can fuck
it. Was,
I
thought it was, for whatever reason, I thought it was Blood who had kicked the dog.
No, Cheese.
No, Cheese kicked the dog.
Blood grabbed him because Cheese is all like, well, this is as far as we go. He goes, fuck, no, it's not. And he goes, I'm not allowed upstairs. He goes, I don't give a fuck. You're taking me upstairs and like pin him up against the wall. And then because he was mad that he just got manhandled by a man bigger than him, the only thing he could do was apparently take his aggression out on the poor dog and kick it. And at that point, I looked at Kate and I said, kill that motherfucker now.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I ain't like that shit either.
Oh, Twitter hated it. I didn't catch a really good tweet, but like I did see a bunch of people talking about the dog getting kicked.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit.
So they're making their way upstairs and they go into one bedroom, and I guess disappointed is the word there, because there was a whole thing where they knocked over this one little lantern thingy, and I'm like, is this gonna start a fire? We gonna burn some shit and
Oh,
kill
when
or
his
something?
It was
his
his torch. He
is
put his torch on the ground to set the trap when the servant girl was like watching him with the
to
fucked up
pretend to set
eyebrows.
the trap because he didn't know how to set
Yeah.
that trap.
She had thick ass
He didn't know what
eyebrows.
he was
And then
doing.
he looked back and saw she left, and I'm assuming he's like, oh, she's gonna go tell. And he like rushed out of there and he like rolled his torch. And I thought the same thing. I'm like, we're gonna get a fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here we go. No fire. What was the
No,
point of watching the fucking torch roll?
I had just taken it as he like when he noticed that like she had disappeared very quickly, like when he went to get like his blade, like he knocked the torch so it just rolled over. I just assumed that's like something that's like soaked in something that just stays lit.
Yeah, but I thought that would start a fire. Like it just seemed to me
I
like
did-
the whole reason why they would follow it like that is because like, oh, there's gonna be consequences of this thing being on the floor
It's
and
gonna
rolling
hit
around.
a book or a parchment or a
Or
dress
curtain or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like they were just like, if you can't find Aemon, just burn it to the ground.
But no, that's not what we do.
No. Instead, we find Cheese in a room and he's got a knife to Helena's throat.
I was like,
And
damn, they're taking Elena too?
Listen, she is on the spectrum. She is special. She is touched,
and can somehow
also
read the future. Like
can read the future, you know. So she's dealing with all that on top of the fact that her mom's making her fuck her brother. Like,
yeah. We saw earlier too when she like I said, we can read the future when she said something to the effect of like, I'm more worried about rats than dragons or something. And she's like, yeah.
She's like, I'm not scared of the dragons, it's the rats.
Yeah.
It's funny because I hadn't realized that they had kids until this episode, or maybe this I guess was just the first time that they showed them, and I was just like, where did these two motherfuckers come from? Like there's so many white haired kids running around now. I don't know who's who anymore.
Yeah, just a set
time
of
isn't
twins.
real.
I'm sorry.
Time isn't real in this show. Don't even
It's
like
not.
people can just randomly have children and they will be 4 years old out of nowhere.
I mean, they had already been married for a while. Like that was the whole reason why they were upset about him running around with the servant girls and the whores and all that kind of stuff. They're just like
He was cheating on his sister.
No, because they was like, you're gonna be making all these bastards out here. You got your true-born kids here. You need to be taken care of. Like that was their whole thing. It's just they don't give a fuck about him cheating on his wife. They were like, yo, just stop making bastards. That's what they're worried about.
Please, if you could just shoot on their stomach or their back, or even better, the face.
Spill your seed on their belly, you know.
And then
Find
you
someone
won't
that
have
swallows.
to worry.
So in this room, they're like, can't find Aemon. So it's just like, well, he's like a son for a son. He's like this, and dude's like, it's not Aemon. That's not what we're here for. And they're like,
I was like, this is not a son. This is a nephew. This is a grandson.
I want to say it's Aegon's son. So he's just
Yeah,
like,
like this is a grandson. This is not the son she wanted.
yeah, at all. So they tell Helena, like, all right, look, we don't know which one is which because we draw the line at stripping the kids' clothes off and looking to see if they have a dick. We're okay with killing them and cutting their head off, but we're not gonna strip them down and see which one is which. So you tell us which one is the son, or we'll kill all of you.
Blood refuses to. Cheese tells Blood, look for the cock. And he's like, no, I ain't doing that.
He's just like, we're not gonna molest and kill a kid. Like that's not what we're doing.
So she's like, okay, put in this impossible position of like, I either tell them where one of them is and kill them, or we all die, including both of my kids. I don't want both of my kids to die. So yeah, that's the son right there. And they go to kill her. She grabs her daughter and they go running out of the room, runs down the hallway into her mother-in-law's room and her mother, her mother/mother-in-law's room. And her mother is fucking Kristen at that point, riding that hot D. And she could not possibly care less. She drops to the floor. She's just like, and yeah.
Someone said, "I'm sorry, but Helena narrowly escapes after her son is murdered, and the first thing
A
she
bed.
sees is her mother abed with the Lord Commander."
Yeah, and that's the thing. There are going to be some heads rolling next episode because the man who's in charge of guarding the royal family was busy fucking Alicent when this happened.
He was guarding the royal pussy.
Yeah. Guarding the
Yeah.
deep trenches of the royal pussy.
I would
Sometimes.
love to say, I was like, they'll probably have his head for that, but then I realized no, because there's so much more of him in the preview. Here was a version of that tweet I was talking about before, but they put it from Kristen Cole's perspective.
Oh, Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah. But this is like that part in Euphoria. I don't know if you might have seen a clip of it, but like where where Zendaya's character pretty much outs her for sleeping with the other girl's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, and she's just like, why would you say that? Rue, you're literally on drugs.
When he gets asked what he was doing,
Oh, I'm sorry. No, come back. Well, hold on.
I was like, we never actually read what it said. That's why I was
Sorry, I'll pull it
audio
up.
people.
But Kristen, who didn't want to be a whore, is still a whore.
Yeah.
Love how that turned out for him.
I mean, he still gets to fuck a queen,
Which was crazy because I could have swore he said he didn't want to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, that other one, Kristen Cole, when asked what he was doing when Aegon's kid was getting beheaded.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
And then Alicent just is like, okay, what happened?
Your grandson is dead.
She said they killed the boy.
Yeah.
The boy, not my son, the boy. And listen, House of Dragons.
She doesn't strike me at like, she loves her kids, but she doesn't strike me as, oh my God. But like, I know these kids are only here so that we can continue this bloodline.
They killed the boy. Listen, they made a conscious decision on Father's Day to murder a child that had a father.
Yeah.
Because like Aemon could have gone. His dad's been dead, right? Okay, fine, cool.
They said we hurt fathers today.
Dad's not around. Luke's dad.
Yeah, he's dead. Around. They burned him in Harrenhal. Yeah.
We picked one of the children that still has a dad in this universe to kill on Father's Day.
Yeah.
That is fucked up.
And there's gonna be consequences. That's the thing. That's why this whole thing gets real fucked up. Like, this is fucked up, but it gets more fucked up, y'all. Like, that's the thing. It's just like, that's why I'm just like, oh, this is bad. But it's just like, I know it gets so much worse.
It's about to get crazy.
Like, it's like that that popular meme. It's like, you go low, I go to the basement. Like, it is.
I don't know how much lower you can get though, Travis.
Oh, just wait. Just wait.
Helena with Jaheira after Blood and Cheese going to Alicent Chambers and seeing Kristen here. I just like all that trauma just in like a matter of like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're also still on season 2, and I don't know anyone's fucking name, like, or how to pronounce it. I will be honest with you. Still,
I feel like that's a Targaryen problem. Like, it's just because
Damon, I'm good. We could have called him Luke. We probably won't be talking too much about him anymore. But because he's gone, even though that wasn't like. Yeah. But yeah, no, none of these names.
Well, Rhaenyra.
Yeah. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Just like just count down the kids.
Ray and Day. Those are the ones you really need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alicent.
Well, yeah, but Alice, that's easy.
Her 2 kids. Well, her 3 kids, I guess, but the 2 sons.
Which Aemon still looks like he is the older brother in this situation, which bugs the shit out of me to this day.
But you know who they are.
Yeah.
It's
such weird casting.
Yeah. So her 3 kids.
And I didn't know Helena's name until we started talking and you guys said it. So there was that.
It's far less relevant than the other 2, though.
Yeah.
Fair.
So
they only like bring her up for, I guess, like for just like subtle foreshadowing, but like it's very cryptic.
Mm-hmm. And then Kristen Cole.
Now.
You didn't know his name before? Okay, gotcha. What about Otto Hightower?
Well, it wasn't necessarily that I didn't know his name. I just confused him with the other brown-haired white dude that.
Right, but you
Ray
knew
Ray
who
fought.
he was, though.
Roughly.
Yeah.
I thought he was someone else, but also who he was. So, yeah.
Got you. And then you know Otto Hightower.
Well, yeah, that's her. It's the dad, yeah.
So you know the people that matter.
Yeah.
I suppose. I don't know any of the children's, like the twins'
It's
names.
fine.
The one
Because
that
you know
died.
it's
I don't think that matters. That's my
I
point.
could. I haven't read the books, but like on the trajectory that we're going right now, I feel like it won't really matter because probably only one or two of them will make it.
That's what I was just about to say. Most of these Targaryens are not gonna make it. So this is a bloody fucking war, man.
Like I saw some. I think after we wrapped up last season when we did this before, I feel like I looked at like an example of their family tree because someone kind of like tried to tie some of like as much as they could back to Rhaenyra and their time, and like I think they like just kind of like dimmed out each picture that was dead.
I was gonna say,
like,
did it look like the Black family tree where she just
yeah,
burned
or
all the
like
family members?
it was like they were crossed.
That's
Like,
the
I
thing.
think it was either
Here's the
crossed
thing,
out
but
or
you
they were
gotta.
dimmed.
The thing you gotta understand with this is the way this has gone now. The way we are in this current situation. The only way this ends is if one side is just no longer in existence.
Yeah,
Which means
I understand
all
that.
of them, including the children. So,
Yeah, no, but you killed a 4-year-old. I don't. With everyone alive and everyone that's on the table, I don't know how lower you can go than sending some dude into a child's bedroom to cut their head off and bring it to you. I don't think
more
you can
children.
get any lower. There are, but that's not going any lower. That's just going as low.
You don't know how those children die if they die. Is my point. Like
I guess
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's what happens. I'm just saying there are ways that it can get worse that you just haven't thought about. That's all. And I'm not going to spoil them for you, but just know when I say it gets worse, it does get worse. But
I was gonna say just from the fact that I see that Luke, Jace, and Joffrey all don't have a line that follows after them, it just tells me that more small kids are gonna die. It feels like Joffrey's not gonna make it long either because he's so young.
Yeah. However, that was the end of this episode. You got any more tweets for us, Mar?
I did have one last tweet. It was the first one I had saw, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." Maybe Father's Day, but today we'll be celebrating a mother. Burn all that shit down.
Cause yeah, that's what she ready for. The problem is now, like her people done killed the baby, and so I feel like
now Aegon wants.
Yeah, Aegon wants blood. Allison wants blood again because she thought she was like, we never got retribution for your kid taking my kid's eye, and it was a whole thing. So it's just
you didn't.
Well, not until I'm talking about before Aemon killed him. Like we had never gotten retribution for you taking.
Well, I mean, can we also just talk about real? Because I think we kind of like, I think we passed over, or at least I don't remember. Who knows? When Alicent was doing her prayer thing down in the
and they were also doing things. They were burning the cloaks and all that. Yeah, she
lit candles for Viserys. I believe her mother was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I assumed because she said a name, and I just assumed it was her mother. She said Viserys, and then at the end she said Luke.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I think it would be fair to say Alicent didn't want that to happen.
No, not at all. She definitely didn't want that to happen. She just wanted his eye.
Yeah, he was just like, I mean, if he died from the eye coming out, then I mean it's different. But I mean, to
be fair, if Luke had just given up his eye, we could have avoided all this. He did say, "Give me your eye," and then Luke got scared and ran. Like if you had just manned up and gave your eye up.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
then
but
also
what little kid is
remember,
going to say, "Sure, pluck my eye out," you know? So,
right? But also remember, what's his face?
mm.
Was that a Lannister that they went to see?
I think it was the Lannisters whose house
Mm-mm.
they were at.
No,
It wasn't the Lannisters.
who
I
was
forgot what
that?
fucking house that was. Was it the Riverlands? Was it
The Tullys?
no?
No,
What the fuck is that nigga's name? The Red Wedding niggas. What the fuck was their names?
oh,
Because those were the two places they were critical, was the North and the Riverlands. What the fuck
Frey,
was it? Yeah, I think it was
right?
the phrase.
Walder
I'm not
Frey.
positive, but I think that's who it was. Because the phrase were like they're the ones that control the crossing and all that. I'm not positive, but I'm thinking that's who it was. But I'm almost 99% sure it was not the Lannisters.
He goes to Storm's End.
Storm's End, so it was the Baratheons.
I think so.
Yeah,
I was like,
Storm's End is the Baratheons.
it's someone close to the Lannisters. That's why I was just like,
Yep, Boros Baratheon.
Yeah,
thank you. Because I was just like, he was fat and very, very boastful and proud.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for some reason, I thought the Baratheons weren't important because obviously he became king, but that was like after the bullshit. Like, I felt like he was low end, like Ned Stark was. Like they were on the same playing field at that point.
Well, no, the thing is, he
No.
became king because Ned even said it. Like you had the better claim. It was like because they were able to trace a lot of their lineage back to being closer to the Targaryens and all that kind of stuff. So like they're important. They're a lot more important.
Princess Rhaenys is of Baratheon blood. Her mother was a Baratheon.
Okay, yeah. So they're pretty important at this point. It's later on they become far less important, but
yeah. But
you were saying something though.
I forgot.
Yeah. We went on a tangent, but anyway,
It'd be like that.
Well, let's talk about what we think overall. How many dragons out of 5 are y'all getting this episode? We'll start with you, Mara.
4 and a wing.
What about you, Matt? You're at 3.
Dragons.
3 because we killed.
I'm inclined to agree.
No.
I'll give it 3.
I'm giving it 3 because it was boring as fuck until the end, and not a titty to be seen.
You got like you got
No,
Allison's upper
Allison.
butt.
You got third person view of cunnilingus.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was
No view of it actually happening. No view of the actual action. Then you got upper butt at the very end of the episode.
We are the #1 House of Dragons podcast on the spicy sites. Upper butt and third person cunnilingus doesn't cut it. I need nipple.
Yeah. So Mara, you give it 4. I give it 3. Matt gives it 3. Yeah,
I give it 4 because it had me gagged at the end of it with that.
That ending was that powerful for you. Yeah,
I was like I was sitting on my couch, like just watching it, just like in disbelief, and I was just like, "Am I gonna throw up after this?" Like,
no one would blame you.
Because
so yeah, what are you all anticipating? What are you looking forward to seeing? What do you think is going to happen? How are you feeling going forward?
something's gonna get set on fire. And can I also just make one point out that I just kept noticing? I know it's been like 2 years since the first season came out, but why did every character look like every person look like they had the beginning of Ozempic face? Like everyone slimmed down for their roles this time around. Like Corliss, even like Rhaenyra's face is slimmer. Kristen
what actors
Cole's,
do when they find out they're going to be on, they're like, oh, I'm on something important. People are going to think I'm fat. I got to lose weight, and it's just like, no, you were good. That's what we saw you as. We're good with that. Like, don't do that.
I was like, has the Ozempic craze hit House of the Dragons?
So yeah, like Keep in mind, this is
Should
only
be on
supposed to be like
Lizzo.
in the next like the weeks following the last episode of the first season, but you know, whatever, man.
Yeah, but I look forward to the carnage that comes with
Yeah.
this season. I look forward to be left gagged a few more times.
Action.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean,
By the way,
remind you-
I thought about this and I forgot to mention it because Travis was running the show. At one point,
damn right,
Vagar showed up and they were like, "It's a dragon," and they readied the scorpion. That's what they tried to shoot Daenerys dragons with. Didn't they like find it in the bottom of the fucking castle and they pulled that shit out? They were gonna use it to take down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
That's what I
probably
thought. I didn't remember anything that happened in season 1 or who anyone fucking was, but I remember the fucking scorpion from Game of Thrones trying to take down Daenerys dragons, trying to shoot Drogon.
Yeah, they showed it. They showed it.
Hurt.
Yeah, they used it in the like underneath the castle to show how powerful it was to destroy one of the big dragon skulls.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do. There's some shit's gonna burn. It's some shit is definitely gonna burn, and I'm looking forward to it.
I feel like I look forward to them killing Vagar because I feel like somehow they're gonna manage to do it. Because Vagar's wings look like he's been through some shit.
Yeah, I mean, he has. He's the oldest one, the biggest one, so he's definitely got some miles on him.
Quite a low trade-in value there.
Yeah. Yet high trade-in value at the same time because he's the one that they're all afraid of. So,
Facts.
That was an ordeal, though. That'll be it for us today. Do not forget to follow us on all the socials: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at It's Creation World. That is at ITSCREATIA World. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/Creation World. And while you're there, since you're watching this show, you definitely want to join this Facebook group, facebook.com/group/STEM Those of you who are fans of this stuff and enjoy it with us, come there, join in the conversation. It continues over in this Facebook group. Have a good time. We'll talk about it all week. And if you're a wrestling fan, we got another group for you, Matt. What's that group?
It would be facebook.com/group/smacking it raw. It is one of the least toxic and laid back wrestling groups you can be a part of.
Hell yeah.
Indeed. You can follow me on both Instagram and Twitter at Lord_Cussalott. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT. Mara, where can they find you?
On the fun socials at Mara the Shark, MARADASHARK.
And Matt, where can they find you?
You can follow me on X, Twitter, at Matt Riddledge, at MATTRDDR for your wrestling content, at Getting Off for your horror content, and everywhere else on socials at Smacking It Raw, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky.
And that'll be it for tonight's episode, however you want to put it, because it's morning time technically now if you're, on the East Coast. But we'll see y'all next time. Until then, we out.
We out.
Bye.